Hello and welcome back to another video. And in this video, we'll be looking at HTML forms. So before we start with HTML forms, let's understand what are forms. Here, forms are nothing but a kind of page where we ask user to give us input or provide us the information, as we call it as an application form in a offline version. So the same way it's a form where we'll be asking the user to give us the details about their names, mail IDs or gender and so on. Select the male or female, select the course, whatever they are. So all these things we'll be looking at this HTML forms. So in this video, we'll be looking at introduction to forms, metadata, and at the last, we'll see the forms. And we'll also follow it up with how to do it, and we'll check out and make a sample form. So let's get started with this. So first, we'll be using HTML5 as normal. So it is the revised version of HTML5, which supports very many features and also supports for creating web applications and so on. So we'll see into this into much detail with a comparison of HTML4 and HTML5 into the next video. For this video, we'll be looking at meta tag. So what is meta tag now? It is nothing but it is used for declaring the metadata for HTML document. It can also, metadata can include document descriptions, keywords, author, and etc. And remember, meta tag is always placed between the opening and closing tags of the header tags. So with this, let's start creating an application form. So just give me a moment of time and then let me switch my screen to the editor and then we'll see out how can we go ahead with this. So here we are. So here we are into our editor. So I hope you all remember that we need to go to the files and then I'll just make a new file and save it with a name with .html. Once you're done with that, just write HTML here and press tab. So we are done here. I'll write sample form as a title for the page. So once done with the sample forms as a title for the page, I'm here in my body section. And here it's pretty much simple. As it is a form, I'll just give it as a header. So with an H1 header and then write sample application form. So this is my header. I'll just save it, Ctrl+S, and then quickly go back to the browser. That is my desktop and check out where is that file located. So file is inside this thing, and here we have the sample one. So I'll just quickly, where is not the one. Let me check out where it is saved. So it is saved as css.html on the desktop itself. So here we have css.html here. I'll just open this and open this into a new tab so that we don't have any distraction with other tabs. Ctrl+R. So it says sample application form, and if I go here and then it says me sample forms as a title here on the top. So let's start adding the details into this. So what we'll be doing is very simple. First, to create a form, you need to open the form tag. So you can call it as, you can call that to form and then press tag. And this gets you into a form tag. So you get an open, that is start tag and the close tag of the form. Now, first thing, we'll ask the user to give it the name. So we need something called name and then it should have an input. So for that, I need a name as a label. So I'll call label and then press tab and write name. And press N button and let me see what happens now. Ctrl+S and Ctrl+R. So you can see it says name here. So we are good to go. Press enter and then now let's take an input from the user. So for that, you need to call the input attribute as input tag and then here write what type of input it is. So it is going to be text input. So text, Ctrl+ save, going back to the browser and then checking out what's happening. So you can see here we have name and a text field. So I can write something in this text field. Yes, I can write it. So we have name and the text field. Let me zoom in the page and so that it's pretty much clear for everyone. So I have a name and the user. And now let me go ahead and then add up the password. So label again and password. Control press S, save, again the input. And here I write again the text because, sorry, it's going to be a password. If I'm going to write a control press save, and then going back here, checking out what's happening with this, control press R. Okay, so I have name here and the password here. So now I have given the data, I have given an input type that is as a text here and the password here. So what is the changes between these two is nothing but you can see here in the text we have type as a text, and whenever you write something here it's visible, whereas in the case of password it's not visible. So this is the reason that I used type as a password for the password field. But we have a problem here. Name is in the same line and password is also in the same line. So what should I do to get it down? So what I'll do is just add a break line in between these two. So I'll add a BR, break the line, and I'll also give one more break line, and then it should be pretty much good to see now. So can press R. Good. I have a name field and a password field now. So we are done with two things. That is, we have a name. I'm going to collect name from them and password. Now, one question is, how can we add a hint here? That is, in this place, like it should show like enter your username or enter your name, something like that. So let me do that thing. So to do that thing, we need to do is call up this thing, placeholder. And inside this, write a hint. Hint is another name for the placeholder. Placeholder is also another name for the hint. So here write the hint you want to give. Enter your name. Enter your name. And let us also add the same thing to this password field, placeholder, and enter your password. Enter your password. Control press save. Do not forget to save. Like only if you save here and then go back to the browser and then refresh the page, you'll get this. So you can see now you have the hint here. Like I can also write something. The moment I start writing, that hints disappear. So I have name as a name and the input field where I also have a placeholder that is a hint as enter your name followed by password and enter your password. Now let's go ahead and then check out the other field. So what is the other field now? So obvious field is the gender. So whether male or female. So let us do that thing. So to do that thing, let us also again give a break here so that we have it after the line. And now I'll call up a label and mention here gender. So now control press save it. Going back, refreshing the page, I have a gender here. I think so I should keep one more bracket here. So let me give a bracket break line. And it should be pretty much clear now. Going back here and then control plus R, it has a good space now. Now I have label as a gender, and I cannot here ask them to write male because I already know that it will be a male or a female. So I will not be asking them as input, like I will not be calling the input and type text so enter male or female. What I can do is I can just have two options to select from. So for that, what I'll be doing is just call one more method here. That is nothing but input, and instead of type text, I'll call up radio. And what this radio does, we'll check out here. So I'll just go back here and then control press R. You can see radio is nothing but this radio type of button, so we call it as radio here in a type of input. So I can click on this and it's pretty much good. I'll also add one more. I need two things, two radios. So two input, and this also is a radio. So we are good to go. We have two radios now. Control press R, I have two. But I should also give them a label, right? I should give them a male or a female. Only then they will be distinguished between two things. So to do that, just write here male, and here follow it up with female. Control press save. And go back here and control press R, and you have male and female. So now they can choose from male or female. And this gets us into other option, that is male or female. Now let's quickly go ahead and check out how can we have other part, that is nothing but how can we have a checkbox. So consider you need to have a checkbox, choose from two cities, whether Bangalore or Hyderabad. So how will you do that thing? So let me give you a break quickly here. tab, and one more break line. Now this break line and tab. Now to give that label, I'll just label here select city. Select city. You can also select multiple cities, and that's why I'm using checkbox. So input, and instead of type here, I'll write checkbox. Control plus save it, going back here and checking out what's happening out there. Control plus R, now they have a checkbox. So I can click on this and it is going to be checked. Now, the same way as we did earlier, I'll write Bangalore as first. And then going back here, again I input checkbox. Going back here, Hyderabad. I hope my spellings are right. Control plus R. So I have two things now. That is select city Bangalore, another one is Hyderabad. So we are good to go now. Now our next thing is nothing but if we want to select something from the drop down menu or drop down list, anything such, or selector what we call here. So to do that thing, let me give a break here so that we are good to go. Break and then call up selector. Select and then let's write the options. Option. So first option, let it be VE. I'll just give a label here so that it makes sense. Label. Choose your qualification. And then here BE, I'll just add up one more option. BCA. Okay, let's have these two options, or I can I'll give one more option as choose your course. So Control plus save it. And then let's go back and check out what's happening out there. Control plus R. So now I have a label choose your qualification, and if I click on this, I have a drop down menu and I can select whatever the course I have. So with this, we have completed our sample application, and the last part is remaining is nothing but submit button. So without that, we'll not be able to submit it. So how shall we do that thing? So we'll just quickly go here out of the select tag, because we're not inside the select tag now, but inside the form tag. Go here and write button and press tab, write submit. And this should give me a Control plus save, going back here, Control plus R, and it gives me submit button right next to the choose your course. So let me add a break line, and that should make it appealing to look. Break and break, and Control plus save it. Control plus R, submit. So let's try out we have a submit button now. Let's try out our application form now. I'll just write Hummingbird here in the name. And in the password field, I'll just write password. And I'll just submit it now. Let me see what happens. So I'm able to submit it. And this is how I click on submit and I get my application. So we have not done anything much on the back end, but we have created our sample application form now. So with this, you can also add up your CSS inline styling and all these things. You can add up your brackets or borders. You can align them in between or left or right to make your application more appealing. So that's all for this video, and we hope to see you in the next video. Thank you.